guest speaker from Rotary. I'm going to ask all of the guests, let's see, we have a couple in the back. If you could stand up, say your name, what you do for work, and what brought you here tonight, that would be great.
We're actually excited about that. I know we were looking at this to open up our business and things are wrong. Right now we are one with more equipment. I don't know if these days, but we didn't go back to that building.
Good. All right, and my dad's not so much a guest anymore, but there's a reason why I invited him here tonight, and he will be doing a little bit of an overview on the foundation and the Paul Harris Fellow recognition. So I actually invited him this evening. My dad's Dean. Is there anybody else on the call that would be a guest?
Ashley and Bill.
Ashley and Bill's on the call. Dustin, did you bring a guest? Thanks for coming. Thanks for bearing the heat.
Oh, Gary's there. What do you say, Gary?
The Bill comments are going to be priceless. Yeah, Laura.
You should have like an official bring your dad to your Rotary meeting thing. Like,
Yeah.
You're starting a trend here. What about mom? That too.
That
Bring
works.
your parents to Rotary.
Yeah. Caitlin, are you on that? Amy? Yeah.
No.
Oh. Well, August is officially membership month for Rotary, so we welcome all the guests. As a reminder, you know, this is a great opportunity to bring in new people. We all need some social interaction right now, so what greater gift than give them the gift of fellowship with other Rotarians and hopefully build those lifelong friendships. We currently have 62 members, which is one off from what I thought we had. I thought we had 61. I have asked our newest members, I'll start with you, Emily, if you could come up and just give a brief overview of who you are. This is the first time we've actually seen some of these people in person, so it kind of gives me goosebumps, but we want them to feel as welcomed as possible. And so she's going to share a little bit about herself and what brought her to Rotary and what she wants to get involved with.
Hi, everyone. Some people I've gotten to meet in person or on a Zoom meeting, but I'm Emily Lowe. I just moved to La Crosse from Milwaukee about 6 months ago or so. And it was an interesting time to network because the shutdown happened shortly thereafter. And as I met with people one-on-one, everyone said to me, you should get involved in Rotary, and specifically the After Hours group. That I was looking for networking and service opportunities and new friends, and this has definitely proved to be that. So I am an attorney. I do mostly estate planning, elder law type things. And when not working, I have a dog that you'll find me on the Hickson Trails and doing that kind of stuff. So glad to be here, and thanks for the warm welcome.
We're glad to have Emily. Thank you. Jennifer. Jennifer's been with us since the end of June. She transferred from the Holman Rotary Club, but we want to officially welcome Jennifer in person. And Jennifer has agreed to be our membership vice chair, so she'll be working with Morgan on the membership committee. So, Jennifer.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jennifer Lidke. I am originally from Holman, live in La Crosse, have been part of Rotary in an unofficial capacity probably since 2007 when the Holman Club started. My mom and stepdad are very involved. Dean McHugh, my stepdad, was the district governor a few years back, so I've been involved. Yes,
Like
Dino.
having
Yeah.
But a little bit more about me. I work actually just right downtown, across from the distillery. I'm the HR manager for Town and Country Title. So, title insurance company. We're extremely busy with everything real estate right now. I like to be outdoors. I love to travel. Unfortunately, I was supposed to be in Yosemite on Thursday this week, but due to wildfires, had to cancel that. So I'm pretty bummed about that. But I like to travel a lot. Be outdoors, spend time with friends and family. That's a little bit about me. So
There's also one more thing. I got the homemade courier delivered the other day, and it says 3 join HACC board, and our very own Rotarian, Jennifer Lukey, is on the, explain it.
board of directors for the Holman Area Community Center, that the ribbon cutting is actually tomorrow.
Yes.
So very excited to be a part of that, in conjunction with the new Boys and Girls Club that came to the Holman community. So involved with that.
We're very proud of you. So I can
Thanks.
officially give that
Oh
to you.
boy, I'll hang it on my wall.
I was meaning to drop it in her mom's mailbox and put.
Mom would be so proud.
Yes, Mom.
I can give it to you.
Yes. All right.
I have this ghost voice. Just
We also have 2 more members, Stephanie Doyle, Caitlin's sister, who you've probably met either doing a service event or social. She's been pretty active since she joined and even before she joined. She's road tripping right now, so she's not able to be here. But we welcome her, and we'll have her get up at a future meeting. We also will welcome Nikichi Ijioma. I'm not sure if Nikichi is on yet. She was going to try
she
to
is.
join.
She's online.
She is. Hi, Nikichi. Are you there?
Hello, everyone. Yes, thank you for the kind introduction.
Nikichi, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what brought you to Rotary, and what you want to get involved with?
Thank you. My name is Kechi. I'm a cardiologist at Mayo Clinic here in La Crosse, and I joined the Rotary after hours due to my interest in community volunteer activities. Of course, with a busy work schedule, sometimes it's hard to be there for in person, but I think even if supporting financially, it's just good to do things for the community, and I love Rotary for what it does. So thank you.
Thank you, Kichi. We are excited to meet you in person whenever that opportunity presents.
Pretty low.
All right, I want to give a huge shout out to Caitlin, our service chair, and Emily for all of the service opportunities that we've had in August. They're doing a fantastic job of trying to schedule those smaller group opportunities for everybody to get involved with. I want to thank everybody who has volunteered. Parenting Place, Diaper Packaging, Erin Miller, Laura, Mariah Mueller, Liz Filter, James and family, Caitlin and Stephanie and Josh. Also want to thank those Hickson volunteers, Stephanie, Justin, Caitlin, and Josh. And then to all of you that came out last Saturday and helped pack backpacks, Amy, Emily, Dustin, James, Mike Gritzmacher and his little one, Gibran and his kids were there, Madeline and James. Caitlin, we have a service opportunity tomorrow. Would you come up here and just give a brief 101 on the service tomorrow?
We are doing a highway cleanup tomorrow at 5:30. We meet by the Fox Hollow Banquet Hall, right, Laura? I've never actually done it, so I will be seeing you there and picking up supplies. Bring water. It's going to be hot. Anything else, Laura?
I'll have vests, garbage bags, gloves, bug spray, all of that good stuff. Yeah, we've got, I think, 7 people committed now because Lucas volunteered today. Yeah, good job. So ideally, 8 is the magic number. So if anybody else wants to come, that'd be great. If not, Lucas will just have to walk.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bike recap, either James or Brandon. We had a bike social on Saturday. Do you want to share a little bit about where you went on your bikes?
Yeah, we had a bike social. So I come up here.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. We had a bike social on Saturday. Saturday. Yes. We had a bike social on Saturday. James and Brandon were there. And Brandon's family. Brandon brought his sister and his dad. And we biked around Pettibone Park right there. We went at a pretty leisurely pace. We biked from downtown La Crosse, went over the bridge, got to enjoy the river, and had a nice time. And Brandon did some extra credit. He and his family came to and from Alaska, so that added probably another 15 miles or so. Yeah.
Thank you for organizing that.
Yeah,
Very cool. Nice job.
And then we want to do a quick recap of our backpack project. Madeline, would you please come up?
Yes. It was a great success. We had 156 backpacks that we assembled at Marissa's house. Good energy, good people. It was just a ton of fun. It was like an hour. And then we actually raised a little bit more than we spent. So the additional $57 is going to go to the Salvation Army and Catholic Charities for them to put towards their own backpack fund.
Awesome. Good. Thank you. So with that, as we recognize a Rotarian that's gone above and beyond this month, I want to recognize Madeline, because Madeline's efforts brought in over $800 just from her alone. She spread the word on her social media. She spread the word at work. And because of her going out and doing that, we were able to pack so many more backpacks for kids. So Madeline, thank you for all that you did to make that backpack project successful. And we want to name you as our August Rotarian of the Month. So you joined the ranks with Amy as our Rotarian of the Month, and yeah. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, is there any other announcements that anybody wants to make? Anything? Okay, with that, Josh, would you please introduce our first speaker for the evening?
So Terry Bauer, longtime Rotarian. Terry, how long have you been in Rotary for?
20 years in October.
20 years in October. So
You do the math.
almost as long as I've been around. But Terry Bauer is a member of Valley View Rotary. He's been known, I worked with him at Reinhardt. He was known as the director of fun. Still am. He's also known as Mr. Moontunes. You know, he's been, still the driving force behind Moontunes.
Yeah, not past tense. Not past tense.
Magnificent construction. So, and Terry Bauer also has the, you know, I don't know if it's the honor or the, I don't know, maybe you regret it, who knows, but introducing me to Rotary. So Terry's the one that actually got me into Rotary originally. Maybe
Worked out so far.
It's worked out so far. So
Blame.
thank you for all you do for Rotary, but tell us a little bit about this beautiful.
Thanks, Josh. And I apologize to Joss and Janice and Eric and Roland because they heard all this last Wednesday. So they'll have to sit through it again. It's like coming to church with the same sermon. But I'll try to mix it up. Thanks for coming this evening. It's great to have everybody back together, isn't it? Have you guys been doing mostly Zoom like we have? Yeah, it sucks. So it's good to be back like this. 2012, I started Noon Tunes because I thought it'd be kind of fun to have music in the park over lunch. And for the first 3 years, it really didn't get a lot of traction because people had just brief lunch hours. So they were coming and going all the time. And some people just came and stayed and then got in trouble because they had to go back to work. And the musicians said, you know, we have day jobs. We have to take off of work and it's hot. There was no shelter at the time. It was just a stage. So we asked the city if we'd go to nights. They said yes. We went to nights. And since then, it was like putting, it was a magic potion that we needed. And nights have been somewhat successful. So a few years ago, the city was going to redo the stage. And they called it the shell because they're politicians and you don't know what words mean. But a cement stage is not a shell. And I tried to get Steve Caroline, but we just never connected on that. So I called the concert band, jazz orchestra, Riverfest, Rotary Lights, and Moon Tunes, who were the principal users of the stage. And we got together and decided, what do we need to build a shell? What amenities do we want to have? Because we want to do it up front and then work with the city in conjunction with the city to build what you see here today. That was a great plan, except the city didn't want to work with us on the project. They wanted to build the stage and then have us come in later and do the shell afterwards. And I guess we're okay with that. So there's no tax dollars in the shell, 0. We had the concert band here, 26 of them last Tuesday night, a week ago tonight, to check out the acoustics, and the acoustics are phenomenal. I was standing back halfway to the flag, and you could hear them talking on stage with no audio enhancements. So it's a success. We collected money, and Dean, you were a big contributor to our Moon Tunes buckets every Thursday night. So we had accumulated over the years almost $100,000 to help start this. But for like 4 years, everybody kept saying, what are you doing with the money? What are you doing with the money? What are you doing with the money? I said, we can't do anything until the city does the stage. So what you're seeing here is the culmination of Roald Gunderson's vision. And we wanted to look like a park. So we used trees because that's what's in a park. If you could imagine walking through the woods and looking at that tree and saying, you know, I think that tree is perfect. Could you imagine doing that? Who's ever cut a Christmas tree? You think, hey, that's just the right size. You get it home, it's like 2 feet too big. Because outside in the spatial differential outside is just significantly different. So we found the trees. We had a master builder come in, Adam Miller from Vermont, who put 5 of the legs together. And then Joan Gunderson put that one over there together. The arches are whole trees as well. And you've probably seen them if you walk in the woods. There's trees on the side hill that arch out. And so you have to find the trees with the right arch, because someone said, how'd you bend those? And apparently they didn't pass physics in school, because it's really hard to bend a whole tree. So we had to find trees that fit our dimensions. The rafters coming out are actually telephone poles. Roald wanted to use real trees, but to find trees that are that long, that straight, telephone poles were the way to go. And they're just, if anybody built anything, you want to have that consistency of size. So those are all telephone poles. We have 8 security cameras on 24/7. We light the shell every night. We have 7 different settings, different degrees of lights. They're all LED lights. To complete the project, inside the circles up there, we will have LED lights on both the front and the back. So the fascia will be lit. The shell is lit. We'll replace the globe. The globes will be lit. So it'll look really great at night. And we're going to pour more cement back there, about 27 feet of cement, add 5 more rows of benches. We'll have pads on both sides for spotlights and amplifiers, and a pad in the back for a soundboard in case there's big acts. So we have bolts up there. You can see a bolt right above Marissa there. Those are in the event that we have a big national act come in, we can hang big trusses and big speakers. Because again, getting everybody together, what do we want to do? Because we want to do it all at once, not come back and do it piecemeal. So what do we need to do? So right now, our Bandshell consortium, we're becoming a 501c3. We called Friends of Riverside Park. The Bandshell consortium was really just a loosely knit organization. And we didn't have any bylaws. We didn't have anything except just get her done was our project. We're still selling pavers. So if you guys want to buy a paver, you're welcome to go to Moon Tunes Lacrosse Facebook. Reach out to me. I'll get you a form. So we're still accepting pavers. We're doing the north bathroom right now. So it will be winterized and it'll be accessible, ADA accessible. Next summer, we'll do these south bathrooms here with the city. Jay Odegaard and Dan Frazzoni, phenomenal to work with. It's a blessing to have them leading the Parks and Rec. So we'll have 2 new bathrooms and a storage unit, because the jazz orchestra has risers and chairs. The concert band has chairs, and we lost the storage under the stage, which really wasn't storage. It was nasty, full of water, damp. So it's much, much nicer now. So I'm trying to keep it brief. I got my little alarm clock going. I think we're okay right now. I forget to hit start. Technology, huh? Operator error. So I don't know how much of my 10 minutes I used. Yeah, it'll all be decorated for Rotary Lights. That's why Rotary Lights, Riverfest were part of our consortium, because we wanted to use the big users. Who's actually using this? I know you guys got married here. So you were under the elements of the weather because you were on a stage. Now we have a shell, so if it's sprinkling, you still can use it. So the city is going to benefit from having the shell. It'll be a nice benefit for the community. The community has been very, very generous. We've raised over $1 million, and it was just like a drop of the hat. I don't. Pat Stevens said, I don't know, probably be the easiest thing we ever raised money for, because the city. I think when you have a vision that everybody sees and likes, it just built this self-energy that just drove it forward really quickly. So
You're a big part of that, Terry.
I'll take some questions now because I want to keep things moving, Marissa. And I forgot my 10 minutes didn't start, but I'm sure I used most of it.
Being a nonprofit, does that mean you're going to have to change any of the liquor licensing at all?
With respect to what?
C3, isn't that your nonprofit license?
That's a nonprofit for Friends of Riverside Park.
Right.
Moon Tunes is a separate entity.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. And we get our liquor license. I've been buying it, but now it's Pearl Street's going to get it for us.
Okay.
Kind of streamline that whole process. And we're going to introduce a Moon Tunes beer too. So we'll have our own Moon Tunes beer in 2021 if we get through 2020. Fingers crossed. But we had a contest. Our Rotary Club had a contest for a design, and we gave the winner $500. Then we took possession of that artwork, ownership of it, and we'll be designing a label for beer. And
What kind of beer is it going to be?
Cold. I don't drink beer, so I couldn't tell you. It'll be popular.
Whose idea was the hopper on the top? I've admired it.
Yeah, Roald Gunderson, this whole design is Roald's.
Okay.
So,
It's so cool.
yeah, Roald's a very, he's got a straw house out in the country. I mean, he's very environmental friendly and reusable. But the copper is supposed to be like fish scales. The curvature copper in the front are like waves, or it could be sound waves or waves off the Mississippi. The trees, of course, a park setting. Underneath here, it looks like a wooden canoe upside down. So, you know, it really ties into the logging history. That's why we went with the logs instead of steel or stone, concrete. We went with trees. So it's a natural fit for a park. It's a park setting and it's a park bandshell. Only one of its kind. Yes. It's a great idea. And I know we wanted to talk about the trees too. They were all harvested within about 40 miles of La Crosse. So they're area trees. And they had to be trees that are 150 years or older. So they had the right height. A lot of the trees around here were harvested during the logging years. So that was a thing too, to find trees that, they're all white oak. They'll last my lifetime, because I'm going to be about 200. I'm optimistic. Modern medicine.
Take a bow, Terry. You did very, very well with this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
He's kicking you off.
It's like the Wizard of Oz. Who's behind the curtain? Thanks for the invitation.
The wizard.
After hours paper. You know? Does anybody know where our after hours paper is? In the ground.
I don't know if I've seen it. And I've taken a picture.
It would be really cool before everybody leaves tonight if we could get like each person's head next to the paper and we'll make a big collage. So don't leave until I get your picture by that paper. We'll find it.
Oh, that's so bad. I'm so sad I'm not there.
You can get in your car and come, Bill.
Ashley wants to be there too. Brady's on the call too. Brady wants to be there, I'm sure, as well.
Is Brady on?
Brady's on, yeah. We had a Brady Lowe sighting. He's here. His name is here.
I also, my friend Terry Baclar is here in the front row, and he wasn't sitting there when we introduced guests, but Terry is a lifelong friend of the Dickinson family. His mom and dad lived out by my grandma and grandpa. And I remember being a little girl and being at my grandma and grandpa's, and Terry was always walking his dog Hershey, a little brown poodle. So you'll probably see Terry sitting around the park down here. He spends a lot of time at Riverside and has enjoyed watching the Bandshell being built. So, oh, and he works at Jewel's Coffee House. So welcome, Terry. All right, Brianna. Able to do it? Yeah. He's over there. He disappeared.
Well, Terry, we just wanted to say thank you very much. I learned a lot personally. I didn't realize the waves and the telephone poles, and there's a lot of thought that went into this. And we appreciate you coming down here tonight in the heat and humidity and bearing it with us and teaching us more about the Bandshell. We really appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you, Terry. I mean, I think it goes without saying, we're so appreciative of everything you've done to make this dream a reality. So thank you. People are going to enjoy it for many, many years. So with that, I'm going to ask my dad, Dean, who is a Rotarian of the Downtown Rotary Club, to come up. And I joined the Downtown Club meeting last week, which is one of the nice things about virtual meetings. It's really easy to join other Rotary Club meetings. So I encourage you to all do that. There's some good speakers and you just meet a lot of people. But last week at Downtown, they recognized over 25 Paul Harris Fellows. And I thought, you know, we have a lot of new members that might not understand what the foundation is all about and what a Paul Harris Fellow is. And we're lucky that we have the foundation chair, Josh, for the district as part of our club and all the great work he does. My dad has a lot of experience with the foundation, and so I invited him to do a very brief, I've given him parameters on how many minutes he has to give an overview so that we just have a better understanding and appreciation of the Rotary Foundation. So, Dad.
Lots of love.
Who's doing that voice? Is that Pritchard?
Yeah.
I've got to compete with Pritchard. Is that what?
Yeah, I hear you, Dean. I'm just.
There you go. Is it possible for me to sit down up on one of these risers?
Sure.
Okay.
He's getting old.
Well, thank you very much for being here, and allow me to digress. That's dangerous, I know.
It's already happening.
My wife says when I digress, I tend to ramble, and I say I'm not rambling. It's just stream of consciousness communication. Something very monumental happened in the last couple of weeks, and it's caused me to pause and think about the history of Rotary, and in the context of that, I'll get to the foundation. But first of all, let me say that I think that there's at least 3 distinct epochs in the history of Rotary. And the first epoch began in 1905 when Paul Harris and 3 other guys got together and formed the first Rotary Club, so to speak. And for the next 40 years, and by the way, these epochs, believe it or not, follow a timeline of just about 40 years apiece. And so for about the next 40 years, from 1905 until 1947, those were the formative years of Rotary. And during that time, lots of wonderful things happened. Rotary became first national and then international. There's a story about a fellow from, I believe, over in the Owatonna or Mankato area who literally traveled around the world and formed Rotary clubs all around the world. I'm not sure what his name was. It might have been something like Bill Danielson. It's lost to me, but nonetheless, those were the growth years for Rotary. And Rotary clubs were formed. And in the midst of that, there was a guy by the name of Arch Clump who proposed the idea of an endowment within Rotary, and it really didn't go very far. It was made formal in 1928 at the International Convention in Minneapolis, but in 1928 we were 1 year away from the Great Depression and then World War II, and so nothing much happened. But from 1905 to 1947, that's 42 years, and in 1947 something monumental happened.
Paul Harris died, one of the founders of Rotary International. And in his comments as to how he'd like to have that, his memory understood, if you don't make a big thing out of it, maybe contribute to this thing called the Rotary Foundation. And over $1 million of memorial contributions came in. Now, the second epoch of Rotary began then in 1947 and went up to 1987. That's 40 years. Okay, and during that period of time, the idea of a Paul Harris Fellow was created within the Rotary Foundation. It was a designation for a person who had given $1,000 to the Rotary, would give $1,000 to the foundation, and subsequently that changed to allow for accumulation of gifts up to $1,000 to earn the person that Paul Harris designation, the Paul Harris Fellow. In 1987, that was another monumental occasion.
Talk loud.
I talk loud? I'm not
We
talking.
got a protest behind us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not talking loud enough.
Can you guys hear?
We can hear you pretty good.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you online really well.
Okay. In 1987, the Supreme Court ruled that women could not be excluded from membership in Rotary International because they were women. A guy by the name of Chuck Keller was the president of Rotary International at the time, and he lamented that it took a Supreme Court action. He really believed that the Council on Legislation, that legislative body that meets every 3 years, would have in fact created that situation in and of itself. But nonetheless, in 1987, women were made members, allowed to be members of Rotary International. 42 years to Paul Harris's death, 40 years later, 1987, women are allowed into Rotary. And so we here are in the year 2020. Just about 40 years, 35, 36, 37 years, and something monumental happened in his last couple of weeks. The first woman to be nominated to serve as the president of Rotary International has been nominated. Should be the first woman since 1987, imagine, 35 years, when she takes office in 2022 and 23. Jennifer Jones, one of the most amazing Rotarians that I've ever had the privilege of knowing, meeting, will become the first woman president of Rotary International. Those are the three epochs. Our formative years, the years when the foundation came into vogue, and now we're going to have a Rotary, a woman as the president of Rotary International. And I look forward, as long as I am able to live into that fourth epoch, to just see what the implications are. We all know, those of us, Bill Pritchard and others, know full well the role that women have played in Rotary. You don't have to be a member or contribute to the Rotary Foundation to be a member of Rotary. The foundation is a vehicle that allows those of us who are so inclined to support international service projects all around the world. The mission statement of Rotary International is the mission of the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International is to enable Rotarians to advance international understanding, goodwill, and peace through the improvement of health, the support of education, and the alleviation of poverty. For many mission statements, that's a platitude. It's sort of a hope for. But in this case, that's exactly what our Rotary Foundation does. It's not a platitude, it's a reality. We change lives, and one person at a time, sometimes a village at a time, sometimes a whole community at a time. But in the changing of lives, we in fact, through our Rotary Foundation, change the world. And I'm really proud of the work that we have done. A contribution to the Rotary Foundation can be as little as $10 a year. That's what we hope for from every member of Rotary International. It's called ERUY, every Rotarian every year. A sustaining member of our foundation will contribute $100 a year. In 10 years, they would then earn a Paul Harris designation. A Paul Harris Fellow is somebody who's contributed over a period of time or in one fell gift, a gift of $1,000. A Paul Harris Society member is somebody who contributes $1,000 every year. There's about 5%, 6% of my club that are actually members of the Paul Harris Society. The Paul Harris Society members account for about 18% of all the money that's contributed to the Rotary International Foundation. It was formed by a fellow out of Blythe, California. I had the privilege of meeting that guy. You know, as Terry Bauer did this thing, and I would say this is the house that Terry built. A guy by the name of Wayne Cusick started the Paul Harris Society, and the name would be lost to history, except for those of us who had the privilege of meeting him. But think about what that guy did with the inception and the creation of the Rotary Paul Harris Society. The benefactor has contributed $1,000 as part of an estate plan, just $1,000. And if you give $10,000 in a bequest plan, you become a member of the Bequest Society. And a major donor is somebody who's contributed $10,000 over a period of time, combined giving. And then, of course, there's the members of the Arch Clump Society, that guy that, in fact, formed the Rotary Foundation, the concept. That's a gift of $250,000. And the wall at down Rotary headquarters, I've seen that wall, is just covered with people that have made that donation. So what do we do with the money? Well, we're dedicated to seven areas of focus. Peace and conflict resolution, building basic education and literacy, disease prevention and treatment, that's a big one because we're involved in the polio campaign, water sanitation, hygiene, community economic development, maternal and child health, and then supporting the environment. Supporting the environment is the seventh most recent addition to the 7 areas of focus. It came out of a plan and a thought out of the Rotary Club of Madison, Wisconsin. And the Board of Trustees of Rotary International has decided to incorporate that into our 7 areas of focus. Well, our district has been very generous. When I was the annual programs chair for the district as subcommittee of the district foundation, it's very early on in that, our giving resulted in about $35,000 of coming back to the district in district designated funds. This past year, according to Josh, our district contributed almost $125 per member in the district, $342,000, and $112,000 went into the polio fund. And our endowment fund, that Arch Clump fund or the permanent fund, another $202,000. We fulfilled 22 district grants. We submitted 11 global grants. We supported another Peace Scholar, and we submitted 2 Peace Fellows for candidacy. So the Rotary Foundation is the third leg of Rotary. Our clubs are obviously the first element. The foundation is the second. And of course, the administrative end of the Secretariat there in Evanston. So that's just kind of a broad overview of the Rotary Foundation, its importance to what we do in the world. But make no mistake, the most important element of Rotary membership happens right here in our clubs. And if you're so inclined to support the Rotary International Foundation. So I hope I'm in my timeline. You didn't pull my chain.
Hey, Dean. Hey, Dean. Dean, were you going to announce were you going to make the big announcement about a certain part of the world that's polio free today, or is that later?
I sure will. I can do that. It was announced today by our Rotary International President, Holger Knack, that Africa has been certified as free of the wild polio virus. That's absolutely astounding. Think about that. Follows behind, among other places, India. Everybody said, a lot of people said, including people in India, that it wouldn't happen. But I've got to say this. It was the women of India that went door to door, knocking on doors and telling moms and dads, that child over there that's crippled with a polio virus, that didn't have to happen if you'd only allowed us to immunize that child against polio. It was the women. I saw that. Women wearing burqas, sometimes just face masks, the Muslim women, knocking on doors, taking off the mask, and then laying the charge on the people there. So again, it was the women. And I've been to Africa, I've been to India on what we call a National Immunization Day. And the marshaling of the forces to go out and immunize people, over 100 million people are immunized in a National Immunization Day over a weekend in India. Can you imagine what it takes to put that on? But India went polio free. Now Africa is polio free. We're down to 2 countries, Pakistan and Afghanistan. And we're going to focus on them. And I have every reason to believe that it's going to be a challenge, but we're going to get there. One day we'll be able to say to the children of the world, you don't have to worry about contracting polio. And that's going to be a blessing to the whole world. So thanks for reminding me, Bill.
Yeah, no problem. Well done, Dean. Well done.
I don't know if you guys were watching the news yesterday, but Jenna Hager-Bush, her father-in-law, passed away, and he was a polio survivor, paralyzed from the waist down. And as I understood it, he contracted it from one of his kids who had the virus or something. But our generation doesn't really understand the impact of that. But like I've been told over and over for several years, it's just a plane ride away. So that will be a monumental time, and we can say that Rotary was the major impactor of declaring the world polio free. And if it wasn't for our foundation giving, that wouldn't be a reality. So, so tonight we have the honor of recognizing 3 of our members. After I wrote them out, I'm like, they all have the initials JM, which I don't know if anybody noticed that, but I thought that was interesting. So we are recognizing 3 members this evening, James Murray, Jeremy Moritz, and Josh Mancy, for their contributions to the Rotary Foundation. As my dad just said, the presentation of the Paul Harris Fellow recognition is the Rotary Foundation's way of expressing appreciation for that substantial contribution to its humanitarian and educational programs. It's named after the founder of Rotary, Paul Harris, who was that Chicago lawyer who started Rotary with 3 of his business associates in 1905. So today we move closer to a world of peace and goodwill, as these gentlemen are recognized for their gifts of $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation's education and humanitarian programs, and for their commitment to peace and to a better life for people across the world whom they will never probably ever meet. They are part of a group of Rotarians around the world and other individuals who are not Rotarians that have been recognized for their devotion to the ideal of goodwill, peace, and understanding. It's because of gifts like James and Jeremy's and Josh's that the foundation is able to carry out an array of programs that achieve beneficial changes in our world. Improve living conditions, increase food production, better education, wider availability of treatment and rehabilitation for the sick and disabled, new channels for the flow of international understanding, and brighter hopes for peace. And how appropriate that we're sitting here tonight with protests in the background. Rotary builds peace. So first, we have the honor of recognizing James Murray as our newest Paul Harris Fellow. Fellow Rotarians share that James is a valued member of our club, showing up to many of our events and even bringing his family to join in on the fun. He jumped right in as a new member, wanting to help our club and members be successful. He brings a unique perspective and energy. James lives out the motto, service above self. I am so glad James chose to join Rotary After Hours. It gives me great pleasure, James, to present you with the emblems of appreciation given to a Paul Harris Fellow, a certificate and a pin. Congratulations, and thank you for your commitment to the Rotary Foundation.
There you go, James. Well done.
You can sit, that's fine. Next, we have the honor of recognizing Jeremy Moritz as a Paul Harris +3. That means that over time, Jeremy is given $3,000. Jeremy joined Rotary in 2012. Fellow Rotarians shared that Jeremy has been a valued member of our club over the years, serving as an Interact advisor for several years. He has served on our board of directors and was a big part in creating our digital branding when our club was just getting going. He also organized the Steal the Bell shenanigans from other Rotary clubs one year. And he continually supports the Rotary mission and our club's initiatives through his generous giving to the foundation. It gives me great pleasure to present you with the emblems of appreciation, your Paul Harris +3 pin. Thank you, Jeremy.
There you go, Jeremy. Jeremy sighting. There you go.
Lastly, we have the honor of recognizing Josh Mancy. Today, Josh receives his Paul Harris +4 is recognized for being a member of the Paul Harris Society with his annual gift of $1,000 to the foundation, and is now a part of the Bequest Society with his commitment for a future gift of $10,000 or more to the Rotary Foundation. Fellow Rotarians share that Josh is the kind of person everyone wants in their club. The man-child is one of my favorite Rotarians. He has dedicated his time and energy to many different areas of Rotary at the club and district level. When he sees something that needs to get fixed or a wrong that needs to be righted, he is not afraid to put in the hard work to see that it gets done. He is someone who can always count on to be there if you need an ear for some crazy idea. He has the ability to organize those thoughts and really bring them into something that is useful. This one I couldn't condense down, and I love the analogy. Think of Rotary as a still pool of water. When some people join, they dip their toe into the water, test it out, gauge the temperature to see how far they are willing to wade in. Others dive in and cause a ripple effect of goodwill and a splash of a little bit of service above self on those around them. Josh, your Rotary style is more like cannonball, all in. The world needs more Rotarians like Josh, willing to cannonball it into the water and make some waves. It gives me great pleasure to present you with emblems of appreciation, your Paul Harris Fellow +4 pin, which I think you already got, your Bequest Society pin, and Josh received an exclusive art piece suitable for framing for being part of the Bequest Society. We congratulate you and are deeply appreciative of all your giving and commitment to the programs of the Rotary Foundation.
Nipples.
I ask everybody to please rise and join me in congratulating James and Jeremy and Josh on their generosity to the Rotary Foundation. I have asked each of the gentlemen, they clearly demonstrate their commitment to the mission of Rotary and advancing those efforts. And I've asked each of them to share a brief reflection on why they choose to give to the foundation. So James, I'll start with you.
So I give to the foundation, but I also sometimes occasionally donate to some of the other local activities that our Rotary members are doing. And the reason is I'm so inspired by what I see locally and what I see internationally, and I want to contribute. And I realize every one of our projects, nationally, internationally, locally, needs three things. They need people's time, even just people to show up and do what they're told. They need some people's talents, people to lead, people to bring their skills set, whatnot. And then we need financial resources. And so how I think about my membership in this club is just how am I going to contribute to all three of those things? And so my donations to the foundation are part of that plan. Thank you.
Yeah, so I did join in 2012, and there's a few people that I still recognize. And, you know, Dean, you talk about how the foundation changes the world, and I think Rotary changes who you are. I was 27 when I started. I think that's the right math. And I was just starting my family. A lot of people saw that I started my family. And Rotary helped me realize it's more about just yourself in the world. And it was just really compelling for me. Laura, some other people, Mandy, you know, we were trying to build a club to get people off the ground and just do something cool in the community. And for me, I wanted to be able to give back, and I've been blessed in a lot of ways. So the reason I give to the foundation is because right now in my family life, time is really valuable at home. And so I haven't been here. So a lot of you guys probably don't know who I am, but I've always committed to continue to make my contribution. And the other thing is, if it wasn't for Rotary, I wouldn't have changed who I was and where I was going. So I'm just very appreciative of what Rotary's helped me become, and just hope that the foundational contribution continues to grow. I like the bequest idea, so sounds like that'll be my next goal.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Well done.
Spotlight, what do you got to say?
So I guess I give to the foundation, right? I've had a good amount of experience in the foundation in the last few years. But one of the things I really like about our foundation is that it's run by people. Projects and things are run by people like us. They're run by Rotarians around the world, right? When we do a project, when we do something, it's not run by some massive organization, that has offices in every city or every country. It's run by Rotary clubs, right? We partner with Rotary clubs in other parts of the world. We partner with Rotary clubs right here. Like, it's money that we give, it's money that comes back. It's just something that it's not just giving, it's action, right? There's more to Rotary than just necessarily giving. It's kind of full circle, making an impact as well. So that's why I give to our foundation. So, you got anything else to say, boss? Yeah, yeah. Come on, boy. Come on.
Thank you, Josh. So I think all of us that were part of the Shark Tank pitch in early spring saw the impact that because we give $100 per member per year, we're eligible for those district grants. So we were able to double our impact and turn our $5,000 into $10,000 because we hit that criteria. And this is our 10-year anniversary. We're going to be 10 years old in the spring. And I have this aspiration. We've always been known as the club that gets things done and not necessarily the ones with the deep pockets, and that's totally fine. But I have this aspiration that we can raise $10,000 for our 10-year anniversary, our 10-year birthday. And so with that, we have 22 Paul Harris Fellows in our club. We have 25 members that are a part of Rotary Direct, and we have 3 benefactors. I am gonna offer a personal match above what I already give. For anybody that contributes $5 a month or more. If you're a new person signing up for Rotary Direct, I'll match $5 or more per month, up to $500. If you're already giving and you increase your monthly giving by $5 a month, I will match that total up to $500. So if we all give 500, I'll turn it into 1,000. So it's really easy to give. You can go on to rotary.org and click donate. $5 a month goes a really long way. Like my dad said, $10 a year buys a mosquito net for somebody to keep the mosquitoes out so they don't contract malaria. So my goal, my match, my challenge to you is to explore that, see what's doable. If it's $5 one time a year, that's great. If it's $5 a month, that's great. I personally was furloughed for 50% of the summer, so my paycheck took a hit. And it was so easy for me to go on to Rotary. I did it with like 2 clicks, and I decreased my giving by 50%. And now that I'm back to full time, I went back and changed it to 100%. Super easy. I don't even think about it until the email comes that says, thank you for giving to the foundation and for helping change the world. So I will send a follow-up email with any instructions. I know it's kind of confusing. There will also be something in the Chronicle. If you have any questions at all, we have really good resources with our foundation chairs, Brian and Brandon, and Josh is our district foundation chair. But please reach out if that's something that you're interested in doing. So thank you, gentlemen, for your contributions. And at this time, I will turn it over to Dustin.
Hey everyone. It's great to be here tonight to see all of you in person. I have the honor and privilege of recognizing a couple of our Rotarians here tonight with some special awards that would have been acknowledged at the Avenues of Service this year. But unfortunately, that is not happening due to our current conditions. So we wanted to take some time to recognize some of those members of our club who have gone just so far above and beyond with the Rising Star and Rotarian of the Year awards tonight. And we have 2 Rising Star nominees this year to speak of. Past winners of this award include a couple of members of our club, including Justin Garvey, who's here tonight, and Johnny Breivik won it too. So it's a great honor that our club is well represented in this Rising Stars award. So first I want to talk about, I've gotten to know both of these Rotarians very well since my time in this club, just through basically the public image committee. The first you may have gotten to know very well if you checked out the Shark Tank presentation earlier this year. He made a great pitch. Yes, it was. Don't shake your head. You know it was.
It was a great pitch. It was.
For the disaster response trailer that a bunch of clubs were trying to put together. He did it true Shark Tank style, stepping up with the graphics and everything. And he's now been recognized again as a member of our public image committee, and the district has recognized him and saw his value, asking him to join the public image committee as well. He's also reached out to Western students to try to create a video project for us to share our vision of Rotary. And just, he's one of those people that always brings a smile, brings a laugh to board meetings. He served on the board a number of years, stepped back this year, but is still very involved in the club. So I'm happy to first recognize with our Rising Star nomination this year, Nick Ragnar. Do we have, I suppose I should have asked, do we have any?
No, we don't have anything.
Do we just recognize him as the nominee? So thank you.
We'll give you a
yeah. Hugs all around for Nick. So thank you, Nick, for all you do for our club. And I got to know Nick actually professionally before I started in Rotary. He worked at WKBT, Channel 8 for a number of years, so saw him as the competition, but I've always respected the work he's done. He's just a valuable asset to this community and this club. So Nick, thank you.
I agree with that. I value all of my friendships with you. And Rotary has given me so much. And one of the things, Nick and I went to Western, and I was like, I wouldn't be friends with this really awesome guy if it wasn't for Rotary. So thank you, Nick, for all that you do, not just for Rotary, but for our community too.
And our second Rising Star / Rotarian of the Year nominee this year is somebody who you all know very well now, because she is involved in everything Rotary. She lives and breathes Rotary and is just somebody so wonderful, so infectious, the Rotary spirit that she exudes. I think Bill said the phrase at our last meeting, acta non verba. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, on that Latin. Actions.
Acta non verba. Yeah.
Acta non verba.
Yeah.
Yes, actions, words. And our club is all about action. We try to be involved, and Marissa's just somebody who's been involved with everything that we've done. I mean, now serving as our president, fittingly so, because just the Paul Harris giving that she's done. Paul Harris +3, correct? Correct. Paul Harris +3. She gives to the foundation, but not only that, she is involved in all of our service. She headed up our strategic planning. That was no small task this year for anybody who was at that meeting and contributed, and all of the great ideas that came out of it. Marissa, along with the writing team, helped compile that into a vision that we can all look to for our future for the next 5 years down the road and see where we want to be and try to take the steps to be there. Just all of your involvement throughout our club, through Rotary International, through the district, every aspect of Rotary, you inspire people to be a part of this. You inspire me to step up my involvement. When I see how much you do, to me, it's like, I can do that much more. So recognizing our other Rising Star nominee / Rotarian of the Year, Marissa Dickens.
Hey.
Thank you to everybody that nominated both Nick and myself for that. It's very humbling. I think both of us don't really like recognition, so it's a little awkward, but appreciate it. I've always said, I kind of sat back when I first joined After Hours for a good year, and then I thought, well, nobody's doing this, I'll do it, and now it's led to just more involvement. And the more I give, the more I get out of it, and I hope all of you guys feel that way. So thank you for recognizing both Nick and myself. I'll just leave it there.
Virtual hugs for you as well. Thank you, Nick and Marissa, for all you do for us.
Well, we're doing pretty good with time. We are only 3 minutes over. And so I think we're at closing reminders. I do have 2. Raja John is coming to Downtown Rotary on Thursday. For all of you that were at the meeting on the Wheels of Bus project, you know that our club is a major contributor to getting that bus for girls in Afghanistan so that they can get to school safely. A year ago in the spring, some of Raja's students were walking to work, and they got taken by the Taliban, and their ears and nose were mutilated, and they were raped. And so our club is changing the lives of these girls by being a part of that project of getting them that bus to get them safely to school. So I'm really proud of us being behind that, and we have the opportunity to hear Raja speak herself. She's going to be at the downtown Rotary meeting on Thursday at noon. I encourage you all to join in. She's an amazing woman. I guarantee you'll probably have tears in your eyes, and your life will be impacted, and you'll be so glad that we are a sponsor of that project. So Thursday noon, come hear Razia speak. There's also an opportunity for those of you not doing highway cleanup tomorrow. Ed Fuda, Mary Beth Growney-Celine, and our very own Bill Pritchard will be speaking to Rotary clubs in the Madison area and any other guests that want to join on Rotary. Bill, can you give a little bit more background on what you guys are going to be talking about?
No, because I haven't been told exactly what I've been talking about yet.
Lovely.
So no, I'm very excited to follow those two. If you put Ed Fuda and Mary Beth Growney-Celine would have their heads on Mount Rushmore, and I would be the one sweeping the rocks at the bottom of the base. So it's a pretty cool experience.
Great. So that's 5 to 7. I will add a event on Facebook so you have that link if anybody wants to join. And then save the date for October 14th. Some of you remember the One Rotary Summit. It's being replaced by the Vibrant Club Workshop. So you can come learn more about Rotary in general. There will be at least 4 of us from After Hours that they will want to attend, but save the date to learn more about how we become an even more vibrant club. So October 14th from 6 to 8 p.m. With that, our next meeting is going to be vocationals. It's always a fan favorite to learn more about some of our members. I think there's 3 people slated, at least 1 or 2 more senior members, and then 1 or 2 new members. So you kind of get a mix. So that will be our next club meeting. It will be virtual only at this point, I believe. So it should be a good opportunity to learn more about some of our former members, or our members, sorry, not former. Any other announcements that anybody wants to share? No? Jennifer?
Tickets are only $10 with proceeds going to the Home and Community Center. So if you're looking and hopefully craving some live music, they will be there on safety precautions in place. But free. Thursday night, 6:30 is when the show starts.
Thank you. Anybody else? Amy.
I'm gonna announce some exciting news for Elise, but she's expecting 7 months along. So
I was like,
Way to go! Congratulations.
back up for
yeah,
nobody else.
congratulations. We'll have another little future Rotarian.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else? That's awesome. Josh got a dog. Anybody else? Justin and Caitlin got a new house. Anybody else? All right. Well, with that, please stand and we will recite the 5-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Will it be fun? All right, that's it. Thank you, everybody. Can we try to find a paper and I'll like take an individual picture with your head next to it? Okay, over there. Thank you.
Bathrooms open.
I think those are over there, and those are.
Standing outside of that one before.
By the way, if everyone finds out that Ashley died in the next 2 days, I have watched her lick about 200 envelopes for Ugly Sweater. So if she dies, we got to make sure.
And you guys.
Good. You have some kind of a wipey thing that water or something on it?
Yeah, I wasn't prepared, so it's okay.
Yeah,
Survive,
I have
hopefully.
Seinfeld going through my head right now. I have Seinfeld in my head.
Oh, funny.
Bill, I'm gonna unplug the mic now, buddy.
Okay.
See you, see ya. See. Bye.
We appreciate it.
That worked pretty well.
So